Well, good morning, Willie McGill. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. Are you?
I am well, Willie, and we are continuing this morning, Wednesday, January 29th, 2025, with the Willie McGill Oral History Project that we began with our first session on September 18th, 2024. So, as we begin this session, I would like to open with your thoughts, Willie, on the importance of trust in work relationships.
Oh, that's very important. I mean, trust is in working relationship is if you ain't got that, you got a uncomfortable day. It's you got to have someone that you trust in. In my experience, uh, I had moved into two salons. Owned two salons first, and I was trying to find uh, good peoples that you can trust. Where I can't be at both the salons at the same time, so you had to have good management. So finding trust is very important.
So, you mentioned you had two salons. Now, we
That's in the beginning. Altogether, I had three.
okay.
But that trust thing, you had to. That's when it really dawned on me how important trust is. When I had the second salon.
So, we left off our last session talking about your move from your work with the salon owner, Mark. Am I correct about that?
That's correct.
And that would have been what year, Willie? 1978? Had we moved into 1979 or what year?
Yes. Yep. So 1970. Yeah, about 1978. Some latter part of 1978, I believe.
Okay. At which time you were 25 years old.
Yes.
Okay. And so what caused you to leave working with Mark? Can we start with that?
Well, yes. Well, I had a good following. Most of my clients at that time, most of my clients were white. And working with Mark, I was my reason of leaving. My I had another job, working as a nursing assistant at the hospital, and the nurses there was coming to my salon during the day. I was working at the hospital at night. They was coming to my salon during the day, and my head nurse introduced me to there was a there was a salon downstairs that's available, so you might want to check into it. Told me that, and and I started talking to one of my co-workers that I was working with, and he got back to Mark, and that didn't sound good to him. But he felt due to my skills, when I leave there, I'm gonna take all the people's they want to follow me. So he had me to leave then. I mean, he told me I better go ahead and just, turn in my resignation soon because if I'm going to leave, you know what I mean? So that's what I did.
Okay.
And so, but my clients was my clients. I wasn't really doing their clients. I was doing my clients, which was the ladies from the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
And
tell
it's,
me about the salon at the hospital. How did that work out or how did that
well,
start?
first of all, once my head nurse, which was Barbara, her name was Barbara. That's all I can remember. Barb, and she was a client of mine, and she was the night head nurse. And and when I started talking to her and had to deal with it, I had to go to the administration uh, department upstairs and talk to them people about it, and I had to fill out this had resume stuff all about myself and my family and where I was from, where I was born, and And they even called my parents, you know, down here in Waynesboro, Mississippi. That's to see who, I am who I am, And it was, so it took a while. And that's why I'm saying when I left the salon with Mark, it took about 3 months, me doing no hair. You know what I'm saying? From because they was getting that shop thing going. I mean, with me and checking me out. So, but it worked. It worked out. It worked out. And my job was a nursing assistant, and I was still doing hair. Uh, Sometime on the floor. My break, they want me to do a haircut. They just, hey man, they love my work at that time. And but it went on well. So then after the administration, people at the hospital upstairs, the administration in the office, they contact me and let me know that, well, the shop is available for you if you want it. So I had it. That was good. And now uh, uh, it was downstairs, beautiful salon, all set up, and right away when they found that I had the salon, it took right off. It was I had more work in a little bit. Now that's when it sort of made me nervous because there was too much work and there's too much money flowing, to be honest with you. Um, so I got my sister. I called my, I got her. She had a good, my sister's, she graduated from Tuskegee in Alabama back in the day, but she's 10 years older than me.
And which sister?
And Betty Johnson now. Well, she passed on, but that's what she was. That's what she was. She had this job, but she saw my business. She saw what was going on with me and how I was growing in the cosmetology field, and so she quit working to go to school, and I know she could do it because when I was young, she used to do pressing curls. All people's at home, at the house, pressing curls, and so I know she was good at fooling with hair. So it didn't take no time for it falls right in with her, and we both had a thing. So I opened up another salon, and so we started
Outside of the hospital.
outside because my people's was white, the clients,
Mhm.
and I wasn't doing a lot of black hair. See, my school taught me white hair. I had to teach myself on black hair. I'm going to seminars and health shows, and it's been concerned how to handle chemicals on black hair. You read about it in school, but very little experience. Hand-on-hand service. So, and it worked out. I mean, and so in that way, now I'm doing black hair like white hair. See what I'm saying? In other words, bouncing and behaving. You know what I mean? The kind of stuff it shakes and when they turn their head, it moves, and they was fascinated with that in those days. It wasn't all about curls and greasy curls. You know what I'm saying? It was flowing hair, and did a lot of that, and the word got around. So my shops got busy, and so another shop, number three shop.
Were you
Okay,
still
but
a
like you
nursing
said,
assistant at that time? I'm sorry. Were you still nursing?
no, I had cut. No, no, I had to leave. I had to resign from nursing assistant. I was too
Once you
busy,
got the hospital
and
salon?
yeah, and well, when I had the hospital, I worked nursing assistant a year or so after doing that. I still had to have my job because I was, I want to see how that gonna go. You know what I mean? So I did that, and And I brought my sister into the hospital with me. Uh-huh. And after she graduated. And so, and I saw by now I'm picking up on for my uh going to hair shows and workshops, and I'm doing black hair. And they coming into the hospital now. Okay, customers. So what happened was uh I worked with my sister, got her to where she need to be, and customer service and stuff. And that was my shop I put out there outside. I mean, on Central Avenue, personal touch.
Personal touch?
Yeah. And that's what she want to call herself. She didn't want to be a super dude. She want to be personal touch.
Mm-hmm.
So I allow that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, but my next salon, moving on, now I'm incorporated. Okay. So I got all these people working for me. I got 3 shops going. And
Can you tell us, Willie,
and I had my brother Johnny.
can you tell us, I'm sorry, where the 3 shops were?
Oh, sure. One was inside the hospital,
And that
and
was
one was on
Albany Medical Center?
Albany Medical Center, yes. And the first shop outside the hospital was Livingston Avenue.
And what was the name of that shop?
Super Do. Everything else Super Do.
Okay.
Super Doing.
Okay.
Okay. And
that was
third shop,
I'm sorry, Willie. I don't
Livingston Avenue.
in
Not
Albany.
Livingston. Not, yes, in Albany, New York. And the third shop was on South Pearl Street. That's the one that went straight to the top.
Okay.
With people with my black clients.
Okay. And what was the name of that shop?
Super Do. Yeah, all them is Super Do.
Okay. Okay. Now you mentioned personal touch. What was that shop?
That was on Central Avenue that my sisters were operating at. Okay. Although we was connected, but in the business part, but the name was different. Okay. Okay. And so that's the way it was. And she did well. She had, because she was good at what she was doing. And she had like 5, 6 people working for her. And it's all on the one umbrella, but her name was on the person's touch. She liked that person's touch. And I wonder how can we do that when I'm incorporated, okay? But it worked out. That was a cutoff point, but it bounced off again with the banks. Everything worked out well.
Okay. So we're in 1980 now, Willie, would that be correct?
Yeah, we native. We're native now. Yes, we in the 80s. I can't pinpoint the year, but early 80s. I mean, 83, 84, somewhere along in there now. And that's when I was really, the salon was going at the peak. Okay, it was everything was going strong and working out well.
What were the hairstyles in the early 80s?
Well, see, I'm the first black ever use blow dry and curling iron on black hair in Albany, New York. Blow it dry with a blow dryer and use a hot iron. They hadn't been getting that, so they were saying that's not good for your hair. That's what other hair salons, other beauty cosmetologists say. He can't be doing. He's gonna be burning your hair out. You know what I'm saying? All I was doing was working using that iron. You got to custom your temperature of the iron, but it was electric iron then to smooth that. So when you blow it dry, you smooth the hair anyway. And then when that hot iron hit it, it makes it even smoother and silkier with the perm. And then you just curl it, and and everybody wants to know about that. And I had folks coming from uh, Syracuse, New York, on a regular basis. I had people coming from Michigan, up from Albany, um, no, Syracuse. I'm sorry, Syracuse, and quite a ways. I can't call them places now. It was Rensselaer and other 35, 40 miles away, coming in, getting their hair done. And the weather can be bad. They still come down the hills, the mountains. A lot of them live up in the mountains. Come down the mountains, man, and for their hairdo. And they did that for years and years. And
How long did you have your shop how long did the hospital salon last?
okay, it's a good question. All right, now out the South Pearl Street, and I'm doing mostly black hair, and got a good, I'm doing it, got a good feel of it, and everybody in there just coming in, like bringing everybody in, their children and everybody, and that's outside of the hair, outside of the medical center. So there have been too much traffic inside the hospital for that. Okay, the way the hospital salon was set up and the location in the hospital. Okay, so about 6 years, I did that about 6 years in the hospital. Then I let the hospital go. Because there would have been two stations in the hospital. I only can have me and another person working there. Okay. And outside of there, I had one salon, had 11 people working. I had 11 people working for me.
What
And
salon was that, Willie? What was the name
that,
of it?
that was on South Pearl Street. And nails, techs, and all that there. And on Livingston Avenue, I had 8 hairdressers working there and a nail tech. But there's different parts of the town now. Okay, all of them about 10 miles apart from each other. Okay, 10, 12 miles apart from each other. And but then the management thing, getting back to the management, it's starting to fall apart. Too much money flowing. People's getting too. First of all, I train my hairdressers. I train my operators. They get them out of school. I go to the school, find out who's graduating soon, and I talk with them, talk to the instructor. They send them to me if they want to come down there. They want to because they know about Superdo. Everybody want to work with Superdo. Now, I see no hairdressers, no black hairdressers in that town before I started. It was one. They call him Wolf. And I learned from him. I mean, he motivated me to do this. Okay. And they call him Wolf. That's all I know. But he had a really nice business. And he was doing well and everything. But I got these kids out of school and I trained them and I paid them to learn. But they only can, they only, if once they get where they need to get, I mean, learn how to do a perm without burning people's up, learn how to do a decent haircut, learn how to do a decent wave nouveau, which is the curl. Once they learn how to get all that and keep the hair on people's head, most times they might want to try to get their own place. So the agreement was you can't leave. If I train you, you can't leave and be in competition with me unless you're 10 miles away from me. You can't move 2 blocks down on the same street. You see what I'm saying? Or in the same neighborhood. And if I train you, so you got to go on away from there. Okay, you got to get away. So that worked out. So, but I was training them, and I was, and that's why I was putting them in my different salons.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So was there like a rotation? Because you were primarily at the South Pearl Street salon, am I correct?
Yeah, mostly. That's where I had, it was too big. It was that most people had 11 people working there.
Okay.
So,
Would you spend time at the Super Do on Livingston
yeah,
Avenue?
yeah. I had to go in and show my face, go up there and do a couple days or sometime. Because, hey, Rhonda, I can't be at two places at once. And and my skills and the people I deal with, they really want me to do their hair. They come to see me. Okay. So I had to be at these places every so often. So I'm saying I got to
How
make an
many days
appointment,
a week did you
a couple
work?
days. Livingston, beg pardon.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Two,
to
two,
interrupt.
2 days on Livingston Avenue, and the rest of the week on South Pearl.
And how many days were and hours? What were the hours and the days?
There was no cutoff point. I mean, I was putting 10, 12 hours in every day. That's what we did. It was fun. It was fun. And I had the energy. I was young. And hey, they come, we do the hair. We work by appointments, but we didn't say, you want to come in 6:30, 7 o'clock? Come on. See what I'm saying? In the evening. So we did that, and it was great.
At what shop was your brother Johnny? Tell about his coming to work with you.
Johnny came down. He wanted to be with me, and he needed to be with me. Go ahead and keep an eye on him. I mean, he was cutting hair. He did well. Let me say. Plus, he helped me with my shampoos and 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 uh, and the cash reddish
Mhm.
and some employees watching, doing. You know what I'm saying? But he had license to do. He was a cosmetology, really by license. You know what I mean? And but he's with me on South Pearl Street. But he was part-time there. He comes in the evening because I was there late. You know what I'm saying? Johnny had a job at another place. Johnny, his profession was a refrigeration air conditioning guy. That's where he retired from.
Okay.
Yeah. And so so he worked with me in the evening.
So you
Yeah.
mentioned, so by now, Willie, you are about 30 years old. Is that about right?
Might be a little older. But when Johnny comes through, I was about 30, maybe 35, close to
Okay.
35. Somewhere
So
along there, 30 something between 30 and 35.
so now you've got these
Maybe 33.
three shops that you've
Uh-huh.
got your two Super Do shops. You've in partnership with your sister Betty at Personal Touch. So before we go into your family, just tell me a little bit about how you came to meet and know Wolf.
When I moved to New York, I needed a barber. I needed a haircut. I needed a barber. And I went to and he was his name was the guy. He was the guy people go get the haircut. The people that I knew. So I went out and got a haircut. He didn't work by appointments. I went out and got a haircut, and him and I started talking and hitting it off. And females and everything was coming in the shop. He was doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? But he was doing them with sets, rolling hair up on rollers. See, I didn't do a lot of that. That's what made me different. So to them. So I'm saying, them cats know nothing about curling irons. Work. And uh, hair. Now Wolf could cut hair, but he could cut hair. But when he rolled it up, he can make it look good. You know what I mean? Comb out. You know what I mean? But if it's hanging, flowing, it didn't have the proper shape that it should. You know what I mean? But he was good at what he was doing. He did well in what he was doing. So he started cutting my hair. Him and I started talking. I said, man, I'm thinking about well, I knew I need to go to school for something. My working at the hospital, my doing a nursing assistant, I work with doctors and the nurses and the doctors. I was blood pressures, temperatures, did all that, and helping the doctors. I worked in the orthopedic ward, helping the doctors wrap casts on your leg or arm, finger, whatever. I'm holding your leg or your toe while he wrap the cast around your broken leg. So I learned a lot about that too. So my beats I learned that well, and a lot of the eyesight of the doctors, they asked me in helping the patient recover was uh renewing them around, getting them up on their feet, learn them how to walk and turn and twist and get in and out of bed. You know what I'm saying? They wanted me to become a physical therapy. That's that's what the doctors would recommend me to do. Say I'd be good at that. Okay. Thought about that, but I know I had to go to school for something. But it was time consuming. Okay. And it's hard to get that done and work. So my school, Kelowna cosmetology school, was not far from where I lived. So I enrolled there, and I finally got in there. The owner didn't think I should, you know what I mean? It was wasting my time. That's what he was saying in so many words. But anyway, I enrolled there, and that's where I started off. And I was there ever since. But I learned a lot of stuff in the nursing business too. Yeah,
So did you have any misgivings about not pursuing the physical therapy and
I
choosing the
do. I do.
cosmetology?
I do.
What are
Uh,
those?
yeah,
Share.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't have been so much time involved. It wouldn't have been so stressful, and all day, all night kind of life. You know what I'm saying? And concentrate on a few things and learn to be good at that, and managing and try to and keeping grown folks going which way you want to go in your business. You know what I'm saying? Which was an easy job. And but I thinks about it. But I'm blessed, and I ain't worried. I didn't worry too much about it.
So
Because I
those
didn't do.
I'm sorry, Willie, those long hours and the management of people, what was your family life like in those years between 30 and 35 years old?
It wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. I was never there. I was never home. And uh,
Were you married at the time?
I was married one time. Yeah, I was married one time, and during that time.
And we talk about that a
But
little bit.
yeah, well, I couldn't. It was well, I was married, and I was working late hours, and and just wasn't home, and spending at family type quite a time. So it didn't last that long. You know what I'm saying?
Do you
The
mind
marriage.
sharing your first wife's name?
Well, yeah, first wife's name was Daisy.
And did
Yeah,
you meet Miss Daisy in New York or was she from Mississippi?
yeah, New York. Her family from Mississippi, but she's from New York. Yeah.
And what was her business? What did she work outside your home?
No, she was a housewife. So she was bored. She was bored, and I wasn't there, and she was just bored. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but she wasn't working.
You and Miss Daisy have any children, Willie?
So Sandra,
And is Sashandra your first daughter?
No, no, no.
Okay.
So Sandra was my second daughter.
And your
I had
first
a
daughter?
kid. I had kids before I got married. I had a kid before I got married.
Okay. And your first daughter, was your first daughter your first child?
Yeah,
And her name, Willie, please.
her name was Teresa.
And did Teresa ever live in New York?
No, she used to visit me every summer, but she never lived there.
Okay.
She lived on the coast, Gulfport.
Mhm.
And my son, Tracy, you can't forget him.
Now, what
Tracy,
number is Tracy?
number two,
And where was Tracy born?
Laura, Mississippi.
And did Tracy ever live in New York with you?
No, they both of them used to come every summer together to Albany
Okay.
to spend the summer with me every summer. I wasn't married to their parents.
Okay. And so can you share with us excuse me, Teresa's mother's name?
Janice Evans,
Janice Gibbons?
Evans with an E.
Oh, Evans. Okay.
Yeah, Evans. Yeah.
Okay. And Tracy's mother, Willie.
Uh, Tracy's mother was Gloria, Gloria Jackson. Excuse me.
Mhm.
I was a young father at those days, 19 years old.
Were you
Uh, Glo- Gloria Jackson.
okay? And when Tracy and Teresa were born, were you still living in Mississippi
I was living in Mississippi. I just had moved, which, well, I was living in Mississippi. But the next year I moved to New York.
after Tracy was born?
Yeah, after Tracy was born.
Okay. And how old were you when you left Mississippi, Willie?
19.
Okay. And so now you're married to Miss Daisy, who did not work outside the home, and she is Sassandra's mother. So
Uh-huh.
did Sassandra spend time with you in any of the shops?
Yeah, she spent time with me every day. Yeah, she was my cleanup girl and wiping the mirrors down girl. She could right up under me. She was in my way all the time.
About how old was she when she started hanging out at the shops?
Well, I was taking her down there when she was 3 and 4. She was little, okay. But when she got up to 6 and 7, got into school, and I had to get her to the. She was going to a private school. Had to take her there and everything. And when she leave there, she comes to the salon. She stay there until her mother come get her. You know.
Mhm. So what now you said you were doing the blow drying and the curl. So am I right that people had moved away from the afros at that time in the early 80s?
Yes, yes. Afros had them played out a little bit. Afro was gone. Perms come in. I was one of the first black hairstylists doing relaxers. I started off with Salsine. Maybe you heard of Salsine. Not Revlon. Yeah, Revlon and those pure light relaxers. You know what I mean? They was like what I mean. They was real hot. It will burn you if you don't know how to work them or how to use them. You know what I'm saying? So before they made them like no base relaxer, and that's when I was doing that before then. See, I had to deal with you had to put a whole lot of grease on people's head, grease the head before you put a relaxer on. You know, Revlon Ultra Sheen. You ever heard of Ultra Sheen?
Yes.
Ultra Sheen, one of the first relaxers. that I worked with, and it was one of the first black relaxers for black hair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now you said black relaxers. Did you have to use relaxers on any of your white customers, or how did you change
Not,
the texture of their hair?
okay. Now, see, nowadays here in Mississippi, we call them perm for black hair. If you want to call me up for an appointment, you say I want a perm and maybe a haircut, but that's not the proper name for it. You get a relaxer, okay? Black hair gets the relaxer. White folks get a perm.
What's the
A
difference?
perm on a white one is curly and one straight. A perm is you curls you curl for volume. That's a volume perm. You makes it full. So white hair is straightened with no body, or hangs straight most of the time. When they want volume to blow up, to look kind of frizzy and curly, that's a perm. You gotta wrap it up with perm rods and put this liquid solution on the rods and make it sort of curly, wavy for volume. That's a perm.
And what's that solution, Willie? What was that?
It's a liquid. I can't. It's not soda peroxide. It's some kind of ammonia. It's ammonia. It's ammonia. That's what it is. Mixed with something. I know that. Uh, um, but it makes the hair curly.
And so you got that for the white hair, which I understand now is the correct term would be a perm.
Right.
And then for the black hair to relax it, you're having to use lye.
Soda peroxide.
Okay.
And that was lye is in the beginning. Lye is when I was doing it. Revlon and the other one I called out.
Ultra
Um,
sheen.
Other thing.
Mhm.
But now it's soda peroxide and thioglade. Thioglade
Hmm.
is in the chemical for black hair that straightens it. They keep it from being so hot. They toned it down. Everything mixed in together now. And it's also grease mixed up in it. A grease base to keep it from burning. It made like that. So you ain't got to add you ain't got to do the base the hair with the scalp with oil before you perm it no more. It made like that.
So why lye
Thigh,
for our hair?
huh?
Why was the
I
lye
lie. I mean,
introduced?
there was a lack of knowledge. They was trying to scrape. Listen, the scraping black hair, you got to have some hot. It's got to be some hot to straighten it. To take the natural curl from black hair, you got to have some hot. If it ain't, it got to be a hot comb off the stove or somewhere, or you got to have some lye, some that's going to straighten the bonds out in that hair. Straighten the bonds out. In other words, take the elasticity away from the hair. The ability to scratch, you scratch that hair out with the chemicals or with the heat. You know what I mean? Where it won't roll back up. You took the elasticity out of it when you do that.
Did you find that to be unhealthy for the hair at that time?
It's automatic damage. Anytime you change the texture of your hair, even when you're doing a perm on white hair, when you change the texture, you damage the hair. So your skills of being a hairstylist, you got to be up on it. So that's why the people that get their hair done around, well, talking to you now, the people that get their hair done at home and over the sinks with chemicals, you're really killing your hair if you don't know what you're doing. See what I'm saying? And that's pretty much the cheapest way to go. But you need to deal with a professional kind of neutralizing shampoo in a moisturizing condition and whatever else you might need, depending on how the hair feels. after the relaxer, after a perm. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And you all that because it's gonna feel different because it ain't the same. And if you don't give it what it needs by being know the chemists of hair, types of hair, it's gonna fall out. Cause yeah, that was a good question. It's damage. Those chemicals are damage to the hair.
So what's the importance of this neutralizing shampoo? What is that?
It stops chemical reaction. It stops after you shampoo, after you rinse that stuff out, that rinse thoroughly and rinse thoroughly some more. Then you shampoo it with a neutralizing shampoo. And anything that any kind of fume left into the hair, it stops from working anyway. The neutralizing shampoo does. It kills it, the reaction of it.
And why you mentioned smell? Why did that smell, that perm, well, the relaxer, why did it smell so strong? It would could light up a room.
Uh, I mean, because you're dealing with chemicals. You're dealing with, okay, you said perm. You talking about white perm? I
Well, I
relax.
guess more the relaxer. I'm sorry.
Oh, well,
Mhm.
both of them smells.
Okay.
Both of them smell now. If you walk into a room, somebody doing a perm on a white hair, it's gonna be the same thing. It might be a different smell, but it's gonna be a strong smell. Okay, that you ain't gonna like due to ammonia. Ammonia. Okay, that's the smell of a white perm.
Mhm.
Okay, and sodium peroxide, they done tone that smell down. I mean, that's what sort of process. Yeah, I mean the relaxer, they done tone that smell down for the operators can stand over it and breathe that stuff. Or can smell it and they ain't knocking you out. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't as bad as it used to be.
Would you have
You
to
know,
use a
you just walk.
neutral? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got these new slides on both of them,
Okay.
on the
Okay.
white hair and on the black hair. Neutralizer is a different form of a neutralizer on white hair is a liquid. Now, yeah, you've seen them. Yeah, now we do a perm too. We do a perm on black hair. Like the other words, I'm gonna use the word Jerry curl. You don't heard that, right?
Right,
It's
right.
done the same way you would white hair. All right. Now, but the whole thing is the whole and thing different. You got to have uh that the chemicals got to be made up differently for us. That the ammonia got to be did differently. What I guess what because you got to have what you got to straighten the hair first.
Straighten the black hair first.
You got to straighten black hair before you can put the curl in. You got to take the natural curl away from the black hair,
Hmm.
relax the curl in black hair, then roll it where you can roll it on a roll perm rod. And when you roll it on a perm rod, and let it sit for 10, 15 minutes, then you rinse it off the rod still in the hair roll, then you neutralize it if you do it on a white hair with a liquid.
Hmm.
You neutralize it, each roll, each rod. And that's what gives you them little jerry curls. Now, that jerry curls, a lot of people mess that up, but it's intention to be a nice look.
Mhm.
But due to uneducated hairstylists, makes people not like it as well. Now, if you do a curl and do it right, I ain't talking about jerry curl. It could be, like I said, wave nouveau. They don't do wave nouveau, so they stop making that curl. I hate that too. I mean, in the other curls, if you do them right, it's a nice look.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They don't have to be. They used to want you to sleep in a plastic cap. They used to, and then the spray you put on it is real greasy and gut. That's not. They don't do that anymore. But it's you just got to know how to do it to make it pretty.
Okay. Now you've given me a
You
lot
got
of
to put a haircut
information,
with it.
Willie. So let's
Hey,
talk.
listen, you gotta put a haircut. I'm gonna say with that look, you gotta do a haircut. Your haircut gotta have some style. Hair need to fall into something. Okay, some shape. That's what makes it pretty. Not so much of the hair, the curl or the hair itself. It's the way it falls, the way it's shaped. What makes the hair pretty. Okay, your hair don't have to be real any kind of way, but if it's shaped nice and fit your head, it's a nice look, and that's the way it goes.
Okay. Now you've given me a lot of information, Willie, so we're gonna have to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned something about texture when you're doing that relaxer. What's the importance of texture and how it would feel to you?
First of all, you need to know chemists of the hair, the chemists. That comes along with knowing texture. Okay, knowing knowing what that hair capable of doing and what it won't do.
Okay.
Okay, the texture. Why should I don't make mistakes with hair? I know what the hair capable of doing. Okay, it ain't like I'm gonna try this and see what happens. See what I'm saying? I know what's gonna happen when you're dealing with chemicals and different types of hair, and everybody has different. You know what I'm saying? And okay, so now, all right, but everybody using the perm, right? So you need to, on a soft grade of hair, you got to treat the hair a little different. You know what I mean? You got to make the perm. See, they don't did a lot of stuff to the chemicals. They made it weaker, where you can custom it to a weaker chemical. And if the hair's soft and soft grade, won't take much to straighten it. You break you make it, you mix it up like that. But you need to know that, okay? To where you ain't over processing the hair.
Okay.
And now that's and you got hair that's kinky, that's a
Mhm.
different grade of hair. You need to know what that hair gonna do and what it won't do. I can't use to treat the hair like I did it, the lady with the thin hair, soft hair.
Mhm.
So I'm saying it's a different job
Mhm.
to achieve the same kind of effect. I mean, the straightness and the smoothness in the hair.
So you mentioned the strong smell of the relaxer and the perm early on. So what were some of the health concerns, not just for the customer, but for the stylist?
I haven't heard any. I don't know. Because if that's the case, I would have been up the creek. But I've been standing over perms and relaxers for 50 years. It's almost, you know what I'm saying? So I can't tell you what's that's been blessed. I'm gonna leave it like that. It should have some kind of effect. I mean, it seems like it, you know. So, but so far so good.
Now tell me again, Willie, the difference in this Jerry curl and the wave nouveau.
Okay, ain't no difference.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, there is some difference. A Jerry curl is a curl. It's a curl. Okay, it's a when you do it, you relax the hair and you ride it, and when you're done with it, you're gonna have a curl. So, but it'll look kind of with the moisture with the activator and moisturizer, it's gonna make it look sort of rich, kind of greasy. Okay, so it ain't gonna look dry. So it's gonna look okay. Now the Wave Nouveau, the Wave Nouveau is a body perm. It's 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 something like uh a relaxer that's well, first of all, it was wavy. Think where it sounds. Wave Nouveau. It's not you don't curl up. It's a body perm. and it's kind of wavy, you know, and it's a flip side of a relaxer, to be honest with you, you know. But if you want to straighten it out, to straighten right out with a blow drying brush, you got to know how to do that. I don't recommend that because all them chemicals calls for what it calls for. Now that wave nouveau calls for a moisture mist, a spray to keep it moist, keep it mist to where it keep it moist into the screen, and it won't dry out as bad. Now if you blow it dry, that's going to dry it out, and when you use curl iron on it, it's going to make it even worse. So if I was going to do that to your hair or somebody's hair who got a wave nouveau, but tonight they got a special occasion, and they want to look a certain way. They want to wear it smooth, with a curl iron look. I would do that for a night. But tomorrow you need to rinse your hair down, shampoo it out, and go back to your normal way of wearing it. You know what I mean? That would be my recommendation.
Okay. So before we get to the nightlife in New York, Willie, back in the early 80s, what was the pricing like? Because you were doing a lot, spending a lot of time in people's on their hair. So what were some of
What
the
were the nightlife?
well, no, the
What was
price before we get to that pricing, how much like in the early 80s, what was you were
okay, all
setting?
right. Well, it's what I get now. It ain't no different. I was getting that. What I get now then. I was getting $75, $80 per hairdo back in the 70s, late 70s and early 80s, 80s. Okay. That was the price. And white hair for haircut and blow dry, half hour, 20 minutes job, and everybody was happy after that. $30 for that. And plus he tips me $20. That's the way it works. That's the way it was. So I had to get somebody in a family member to watch my back. You know what I'm saying? I had too much going on.
So how did you charge your stylist? Like at your shop, your main shop that you were with the 11 stylist at the Super Do on Livingston with the 8 stylists, how did you charge them or how did they pay you?
Oh, okay. Now the ones who had a following that they built up a following within my business that people's come to see them. 60-40. 60-40, and I furnish the products. See, it ain't like you know, and and the ones that's in school, I mean out of school and hit and miss sometime, and you know, doing a little this and a little that, commission. Okay, oh, everything was commission, but you know, but that's what I was charging. That's in other words, what they was getting, I was getting a percentage of all that. What he was getting, the shop was.
So they paid you. So like, the customer comes in, it's not your customer. It's
Right.
stylist. The bill is $60. So they pay at the register $60.
Yeah.
And then how would you get your cut or how would the stylist get paid?
They keep track of what they get. We have a calendar on the wall, and everything they do goes in the cash registers, and they make a note of it. Okay, and end of the week, we calculate it up and subtract it up and give them their share of it. Okay, now the ones that like I was saying, I told you wrong on that on the ones right out of school. I put them on they was working like on a salary. Okay, they was working. I got it twisted. It's been such a long time ago. The ones that's 60-40, those are ones right out of school. Whatever they got to work to pay get in, pay in. But the ones that had their own followings, I had them on salaries. They were on a salary. If they were making $1,500 a week, we was on salary. Okay, the super dude gets that or whatever they gets. See what I'm saying? And $1,500 a week was nothing for them cats to make. See what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing.
So,
And but
so that the system where you rent a chair and you pay the proprietor, you didn't have that system.
I didn't go over there. You're limited. You only going if you, let's say you're getting $200 a week to rent that chair. That's all you're gonna get. I don't care if they make $2,000 a day. You don't want to get the, you know what I mean? So I don't operate that way. I did not operate that way, but here in the South, that's what they chose to do.
Okay. So at that time, that hairstyling was big business.
Ah, listen, and see, and then first of all, now the curls come out. The Jerry curl. It wasn't the Jerry curl. Carefree curl. I never did the Jerry curl. Carefree curl. Same thing as Jerry curl, pretty much. The same people make the Jerry curl. I mean, make carefree, make the wave nouveau. They enhance that carefree until a wave nouveau give it more body. Okay. The carefree was upscale from the other curl. The you know
The Jerry
it
curl.
was a better curl than the Jerry curl. Thank you. And but now that's out.
Mhm, mhm.
And I had days. I had now I had set up. I had see. I had to work Mondays. My shop had to be on Mondays. I had Mondays and Tuesdays
Mhm.
doing nothing but curls. No relaxers now. No relaxers. No haircuts. From nobody. Only for the relax. Only for the curls. And we was doing curl.
Mhm.
And every day that was curl day. Now Johnny could do a curl. Johnny got good at a curl. Okay, and we did curls Mondays and Tuesdays. Half the time I mean I wasn't there too much for that, but the cats that's how they making their money, and 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 um and uh and I had a receptionist, so she was taking care of the cash registers, and so if when I'm not when I'm gone, and so but they was doing curls, and those guys wearing them Jerry curls and curl wave nouveaus, and up there was popular. And when you come to get it at Super Dude, you got a hairstyle. You look like you got that's a healthy, curly head of hair. It wasn't greasy, it wasn't gummy. It was just a curly head of hair. You know what I'm saying? That looks nice on with nice shaping to it. And the women's loved it too.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we're going to take a break. It's 11, so we're going to pause right here.
Cool.
Willie, we were talking about the different ways in which people were wearing their hair in the 80s. And I thank you so much for making that distinction between perm and relaxer, black hair, white hair. And you were also talking about, how popular certain of the styles were, the curls in particular. So, how did all of that lend itself to the nightlife in New York in the mid 80s? What was going on? What was the pulse? What was hot?
Beautiful. Nightlife was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was clean, safe. It was just wonderful.
What were some of the
Yeah.
things that you enjoyed doing, you and your customers?
See, in those days, there was discoing.
Oh,
See, we disco in New York in those days. The music did not stop. You dance all night. Listen, when you go home from work, I'm at 10 o'clock. You go home, you shower, you put on whatever you're gonna put on, and you call yourself. You go out dancing. That's what they call it. Are you going out dancing tonight? You know, it ain't like going out to the club. Are you going out dancing? And that's what you do when you get out there. And you dance, you have a good time. I mean, everybody's flowing. Just flowing. It's beautiful.
And so what type of, you said not like the clubs that we are familiar with today. So what were they called? The places that you went to dance, what were they called?
Well, Sneaky Peek's one of them. Sneaky Peek, the Falconess, uh, 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 the, and the Sparkers. It was just a bunch of them, babe. There's quite a few nice places.
Were they integrated, segregated?
They was in well, they integrated. They integrated. In New York, it was integrated. Well, yeah, Sneaky Peeks was a white club, pretty much. It was, but they were black, Hispanic, everybody was up in there, and it was just everybody dancing, discoing, smoke coming up by the float. Hey, it was getting, having a good time.
So what were the clothes? What were people wearing to the disco?
Okay, them high heel shoes. I mean, the men wore those platform shoes back in those days, and bell bottoms. And well, I didn't wear a lot of that in the beginning. I was doing it, but I didn't wear a lot of that. But that was all out. That was all out there. And suits. So I'm big on dressing up. And then you just when you go out, that's what you do. You put on a suit. Suit of clothes.
Suit and
Everybody.
tie?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to have a tie, but you're gonna have a suit, matching pants, and a sweater or some kind of shirt that you're gonna be dressed up. Ladies too. Ladies dressed up.
And so how long were these disco hours? If you got out there about 11, right?
Oh, it's 4 o'clock, sun up. Son done called me up many nights, many mornings. Okay. And listen, it's kind of bad to say, but I used to lead a disco, me and my friends, a friend, go for breakfast, leave breakfast, go home, sit in the chair. Didn't get in the bed because I got to be at work an hour and a half, 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of life I live for years.
About how long were you doing that, Willie? How
For
did you do
years,
it like that?
for years. I mean, really, God's been good to me. I did that a long time.
Were
I
you
mean, I tried to, people's pulling me. I was one of the people they want in the disco with them. See what I'm saying? I could be home minding my business. I want to be home, but no, man, phone won't allow me. If people won't allow me to stay home. So anyway, it went on like that for a while. And it was great. It was great though, to be honest with you.
you were not married at that time, were you?
I wasn't.
Okay. Okay. Now you said you didn't wear and I recall them being called stacks. Would that be correct? The shoes?
It could be. That's a good name for it because that's what it was. It was stacked up. The sole was stacked and the heel was stacked.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
But you didn't wear that so much.
Make water?
You didn't wear that
No,
particular.
no, no. I didn't wear that. I didn't wear that. I did buy a pair of those shoes, but I didn't like them. So now you see, if a man wear those kind of shoes, you got to custom your pants for those shoes. The legs, the heel was too bushy, too high, and the sole was too high. So if you want your pants to fall right on top of the shoe, you got to angle the cut of your hem or the pants down longer for the heel. You know what I'm saying? To where it don't like it too short. So it was it was too much. I didn't like it. Just give me a pair of loafers. Let me go. You know,
How
it
did
was
you
nice.
dress for work? What was your
Yeah,
everyday wear for work?
shirt and tie, jean, shirt and tie. You heard I say?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's where it was now.
Okay.
I mean, it can be any kind of pants, jean, dress pants, but you're gonna have a shirt and tie.
And you required that of your stylist also?
Stylists too, guys. So I had like 10 guys working with in the same shop. And that's what brought a lot of traffic in there. The females. And they was fine looking guys. And they carried themselves well. You know what I'm saying? And it was professional. And we present ourselves like that.
Mhm.
And it's I got a call. They sent me they want to send me a ticket back to New York for to for to be in this for this party that they had for me,
Mhm.
appreciation party. Okay,
When
and
was it, Willie? What
yeah,
time?
that's when I was working down on. That's when I was working on Bailey Avenue,
Oh,
at International. That's where I got my shop.
okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
they sent me, and they went out to me. A guy named Doug, one of my employees. He's one of my managers.
Okay.
Okay, and I got him out of school and I trained him,
Mhm.
and he want to have. He did have an appreciation dinner and banquet thing for me and all the hairdressers that come through me. They all participated. So I told him, "No, man, you ain't got to send me no ticket. Come on, I fly on up there. Yeah, and I did that. Uh, so when I got there, they had this big party, food. They was catering food to you. And I was sitting to sit down dinner, what I mean, at this place, and all the people. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes. I didn't realize that people appreciated me like they present themselves, like they said. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm the reason they say
Mhm.
of them being who they are today, and and uh and how and listen, it's kind of funny. And it's a lot of coming up hairdressers behind us, behind me and them, that's supposed to be hot stuff. You know what I'm saying? Good stylists. And them cats, my people that come with me, and he said, now, you young hairstylists think you can cut some hair? And this is the man can cut some hair. You need to talk to this guy. You need to watch. Now, you guys can't cut no hair. You do all right. But this guy cut hair. That was kind of cute. And
That was
but anyway, all that, my sister was there, Betty, and all my brothers, Lowell and Johnny, and and it just lifted me up real good.
Mhm.
But like I say, I never thought people paid me in the mind. You know what I'm saying? And said years done passed now,
Mhm.
and they still got me in their heart, and they feel like I did something for them,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. I never forget that.
Oh.
I got a plaque down to the shop right now that it says like to someone, the man who paved the way for me and my friends, me and my colleagues. That's what it says.
Mhm. So that was revolutionary.
I thought so.
Yes, you were at that time paving the way as you came to be appreciated for so many. So
Hmm.
that also really had to have had a very big economic impact because you were employing so many people.
All the time. They come through me.
So you
Anybody,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say more, 85% of the young folks that became hairstylists, men's and women's, They come to me. The ones that, especially the one that's made successful,
Mhm.
they came to me. Uh, um, Even you remember Mike, the cut hair, used to cut hair super dude. Mike, I know you remember Mike, Mike and Ed.
Oh, yes,
Uh,
yes,
uh,
yes.
yeah, sure you do.
Yes, Mike,
Uh,
yes.
Even he
Mhm.
here
Mhm.
introduced me to some of his. The Mike is a preacher.
Mhm.
He introduced me to some of his preacher friends and some people that he looked up to, and told them I'm the reason why he who he is today.
Mhm.
Never do that. Never he thought like that.
Mhm.
He was telling them folks that he says now you would think that he was mean, think that he was maybe you didn't like his way of operating a salon, but he was just being professional. And you can't appreciate that until you got to deal with people's
Mhm.
coming in and out of your business.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And having operators that working with you that don't respect that. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And the way he said it, I'm saying I didn't know that boy paid me in the mind. You know, you know, even in the 5 gallon water that you push the button and then put the cup up on there and the water come out. You know what I mean? Mac even said they used to thought I was hard on these kids for drinking out the water, pushing the button, drinking the water. Mike said, but I got in my shop, I had one of them things. You got to buy that water. And them kids playing in that water. I mean, little things that, you know what I mean? I'm saying, you're right. You don't know it till you get it. You're on your own when you hit it. You know what I mean? So it was kind of cute.
Mhm.
The way people look at stuff, and you don't know how they're looking at you, you know?
Exactly. So before we get to the economics, now the people that you employed in your salons in Albany, I know you mentioned you had a good many male stylists, but you also had ladies.
Sure.
And what was the racial makeup, Willie?
And I had a white female, and I had a white nail tech.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Okay. And this was at the salon, your main salon?
That's on South Pearl Street.
Okay. Okay. And what was the decor? How did you have the shops decorated, Willie?
Like I got my shop decorated on Super Duke down there. And it's well down there, my furniture, my clothes in New York was blue, checkerboard white, blue and white checkerboard, checker square, the floors, blue and white though. The furniture was blue leather seats. The stations, and I had what you call a wet station. A wet station, you don't have a shampoo area. Your shampoo bowl is at your station. They call that a wet station, where your customer, all you got to do turn your chair around, and on the side of your chair, it lays back into you raise up the lid over the sink and lay it right back. You do everything right there. That's your space. You don't have to move and go to the shampoo bowl. You know what I mean? They call them wet stations. And
And that was at both Super Dues?
uh no, the shop inside the hospital was like that, and the shop on in South Pearl Street was like that. But the shop on Livingston Avenue wasn't like that. You had a shampoo area up there. Okay.
And so if
But
you
the pools and everything was the same color. Everything was blue and white.
okay.
Trimming, blue and white, blue. The chairs, blue and white. Uh, the the station was blue and white. Yeah.
So if you
Beautiful.
can recall, Willie, what did it cost you on a monthly to run those operations?
Cost me quite a bit. Quite a bit. is, it varies. You know what I mean? The rent's $800-900, on each one of them. And the upkeep, I mean, and the light and gas, I mean the electric and stuff, you know what I mean? Water, all that. But I was making, with no problem. There was with no problem. But that's the way it was.
So did you have a life outside the shop? Was it just work? Did you travel beyond New York? Did you have
Oh yeah,
relationships,
yeah. I mean,
lady
I,
friends?
I did. I could take off when I get ready. I had people working for me, and but it wasn't all the time good because a lot of them come there looking for me, and they had appointment. My secretary but I made appointment in under my name, but I'm not there. But I got somebody to fill in that's can do the job.
Mhm.
So it got better that way. In the beginning, it wasn't too good, but it got better that way because they realized I need some time off.
Right. Now we're still in the 80s. Did you remarry at any time?
Yeah. Now we left out. Don't forget my baby daughter,
Okay,
Justina.
go ahead. Okay.
Karen was, yeah, and that was it there.
And Karen's mother, Justina's mother.
Yeah,
Okay. And did you marry Miss Karen?
yeah.
You recall the year, Willie?
This before I came. This before I came to Mississippi. That was like 87, 86, 87, something, 87, somewhere 87.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little before we end this session. Let's talk a little bit about the economy. We started this morning talking about the importance of trust in work relationships, and then the amount of monies that you were making with the two shops and the partnership with your sister. So, how did things start to change in terms of the income and the monies that were going out?
Well, first of all, the managers is starting to not work. It's starting to change. The business. Now, I wasn't at all of them, uh, but the products wasn't adding up. Inventory wasn't, wasn't adding up. Cost me too much money for inventory now, and I come to find out some of the employees, you know what I mean, how it is. Uh, uh, Everybody was getting paid, but they take a perm home and do a customer or somebody at the house with my perm. Same sort of change, okay? And once I found that out, I mean, it was no second chance. You had to go, and I got rid of you right away. And the business part was a lot of them seems to got into something else. Got involved in stuff that wasn't right, and sort of slowed them down from being the hairdresser they were.
We're talking about drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, yes, exactly what I'm talking about.
So would that have coincided even in New York with the epidemic of cocaine use and of course crack use? We're talking about that time frame.
We be talking about that time cocaine, marijuana, mostly cocaine and crack. Yeah, cocaine, crack.
And so you're saying that that led to people, your stylist.
Wasn't coming to work. Wasn't coming to work like they should, and wasn't doing the service like they should, and wasn't concerned about the business like they were, and and people's come got customers on the book and they're not even there. You see what I'm saying? And the stuff starting to change. So what I did, I started closing salons up and bringing everybody and sort of, taking one of them away and see how that worked.
Which one did you
And
close first?
I closed up my shop. Well, I closed up Livingston Road. Closed up Livingston Road.
Livingston
I
Avenue?
had to close up. I had to close up my place inside the hospital.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? And the next one, I mean, it wasn't none of that though going on there. I
Right.
just expanding.
Mhm.
Okay, I need more room to expand, to grow. So that's why I closed one up in Medical Center. And but that was that was the one that I should held on to. I mean, but for me, if I was gonna be there, because those white people really took care of me financially for cutting that hair, and the job wasn't hard. It wasn't stressful. So I'm saying it was in and out. So, but anyway, I'm trying to deal. I'm getting with my peoples here, and trying to get, and I was, that kind of thing. But then I closed up Livingston Avenue.
Mhm.
Closed up Livingston Avenue.
So how did that
And
impact your customer base? So when you stopped working at the hospital, did those patrons follow you?
no, the white,
Somebody else came in and ran that shop in the hospital?
no, not to my knowledge. But the white, they found what they did. They wouldn't come down town in the black community for service.
So your two businesses were in what would be considered black parts of Albany?
Black parts of Albany, yes, yeah.
What were
But
those
one,
areas
where
called?
my sister wasn't. She was in. She wasn't in the black parts of Albany. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, it was black parts. I guess you can say most black folks moved down through there, but it was no ghetto. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that kind of thing. But it was mostly blacks in that area, working in that area, moving around in that area. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did those areas have a name? Like where we are, where we serve our businesses, they call that Georgetown or Burden Addition.
No, South Pearl Street. That's the name it was.
Okay, that's what they call that area.
But yeah, South Pearl Street. They know exactly what that is. That's the south side of State Street.
Okay, okay.
On the other side of the street, you North Pearl Street.
Mhm.
I did all them folks from North Pearl Street, South Pearl Street, and all those folks, and they had a lot of apartments,
Okay.
a lot of apartments in that area down and around on the south end,
Mhm.
and people had them jobs, and there was nurses and they was coming get. I was doing the hair.
And
Yeah,
where were you living at in the 80s in Albany? Where did you live?
well, I was living in I was living in Colony. That's out in the white area, up in the penthouse in Colony Towers. That's where I live. On the sixth floor, penthouse.
And was that when you were single or married to Karen?
Single.
And where did you live when you married Karen and had Justina?
Well, I'm still there. Well, yeah, I'm still there. And then I moved down from there,
Mhm.
down in Albany, down in well, it was in Albany. See, Colony is not in Albany. That's like a county like Madison and Hines County. That's the way it was.
And so when you moved to Albany, was that in a house or were houses popular back
And
then?
yeah, I was sure I lived in what you call a raised ranch
Okay.
house.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, raised ranch, bedrooms, kitchen upstairs, bedrooms upstairs, and downstairs there's a sitting room, den, and two-car garage. It was a raised ranch. That's the name of the house. I bought. It was new. I bought it. That's in Colony. That was the south side of Colony down in Jackson.
Okay. And did Miss Karen work outside the home, Willie?
Yes, Karen was a special agent for Karen was a special agent for the IRS.
Okay.
Okay, at that time.
And now we talked about the hospital, your work there. And then when you closed, well, left there, and then you had the two shops under Super Duke Inc., and then you closed the shop on Livingston Avenue. Tell me about how that went, that reduction in workforce. Did you have to let people go?
Yes, I had that. Yeah, that's the reason.
Okay.
Because first of all, I was letting them go in the beginning because the things they was into, things they was doing. So it wasn't. And plus, the customers didn't like. They knew they had a feel that it wasn't right. Something was going on. So they was trying to get to me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I just had a house full of people's. I mean, a salon full of operators on South Percy with me. Down there, we operated well. So my future plans was I was ahead of myself. I wanted to change the salons. I wanted to move out even away from Jackson. I mean Albany, in another state, for Super Do Inc. And that's what I had a lot of meetings with my employees, and that talk was good in the beginning when everybody's head was straight. So I'm saying they wanted to be manager of whatever shop I put. Some of them want to move away from Auburn anyway. I mean, out in Buffalo, Syracuse, uh, uh, um, up in towards Boston. You know what I'm saying? They in Saratoga. I was thinking about doing that. I was going to do that, but things started to change. I didn't. Glad I didn't. But that's what was on my mind. That was my future plans.
Why do you say you're glad you didn't?
Because I hate to be in situations like that and lose lose out with dealing with people that couldn't do it, give up, or start doing something different. Running a business, you got to stick and stay. You got it's a everyday struggle. You wake up in the morning every day. You wake up in the morning going and look for a job, although you self-employed. But meaning you got to be there.
Mhm.
Somebody need to come. You know what I'm saying? And it's so you got to get that in your mind, your brains, and you can't not care when you run a business, messing up real bad.
Mhm.
And if it's not your business, sometimes they don't really care.
Okay. So how was Betty's business
She was there. She was there. She had some girls had 4 girls now with her doing well, and everybody was cool. And see, Betty, my sister, is a Christian girl and church going person. At night she go to church. I mean, had Bible study and all that stuff. And her friends and a lot of her customers and people that knows of her from different churches, they supported her. And she had a quite nice salon.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Mhm.
It must change there.
Okay. Okay. And so now you've reduced to the one salon, and how would things have been different, Willie, at that time in the late 80s had you just remained with the salon at the hospital?
Good question. I do believe I would have been fine. And I do believe that I've been fine.
Now, when you say that, what do you mean?
Listen, there's some stuff in there that I don't know how that would have turned out, but the people I was dealing with and what he saw in me, I don't know where that would have went. You see what I'm saying? With with that clientele.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But I believe I would have been fine.
Mhm.
A lot of fun.
So you weren't limited to the patients. You were able to bring.
No, 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 no. I wasn't limited to nobody. I'd have said, but everybody need a haircut. See, white people get a haircut
Mhm.
on a regular basis.
Right.
I mean, the patients. I mean, even patients. They can be their parents come in there, the brothers come in there. I mean, they make sure they mama or sister somebody get a hair cut that woman's hair. If you in there and you in there for a while, yeah, you get your hair cut. And my hair cutter, my Mr. Colonna, the man who owned the cosmetology school, his aunt, his wife's sister was a patient there. And she knew of me. I was doing her hair at the school.
Mhm.
Oh man, she even wrote the administration up there, told them that kind of human being I am, and how they love me and respect me coming from the school, and please keep him here. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what they told me. This administration come downstairs and told me that. So anyway, you asked me a question. I can say I believe it's been good,
Mhm. Okay. We're going to
but I
stop.
was young.
I'm sorry, repeat that, Willie.
I just said I was young then.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was young.
I'm going to stop the recording.